Calling out to the wolf pack. This is Call of the Wild with Danielle Lewis. Welcome to Crazy Comments, Part 1. Calling this one Lost the Plot, because boy did we. As you can see on screen right now, and I'll put it in the description below, Lee Camp of Redacted Tonight did a video explaining what Bernie Sanders is getting wrong in his inequality arguments. And that is the fact that Bernie Sanders, no matter how left he can go, he is always only going to go as far left as Western capitalism will allow. And the driving factors of inequality are embedded into capitalism. So unless we address that with some common sense reform and regulation, then inequality cannot be fixed. And that's what Lee Camp is explaining here. So, we come down into the comments, and I see this from X Factor. What? You're really going to come at Bernie? Come on, man. And, I was interested on how this was going to play out. And as you can see just under that, we have Mr. Sekjana, who I will be calling Mr. Sack through the rest of this video, because he is the owner of the crazy comments in this stream. So, let's go ahead and start scrolling down. Now, you guys are going to have to forgive me. I am no longer able to forward my Xbox internet, so I'm on the phone, and you get to put up with it. So, congratulations, and thank you for putting up with it. So, here we come down, and X Factor replies to Mr. Sack, and this is the part where I took exception with, where it says, "You all are nitpicking at one of the most perfect candidates for president in the history of presidents. This shit is ridiculous." And I did not agree with that. And what Mr. Sack has to say here, I actually agree with. I'm not going to read any of it. You guys can pause the video and read it if you want to, because I actually agree with him, so I'm not going to argue with it. And look at how I start this comment stream, okay? I am telling X Factor to grow up. Bernie isn't perfect. It is one of the most idiotically childish things I've ever read. Are you a progressive or are you a cultist? It's never been about the man, but the message. Get with the program. Now, in comes Gary, who is sort of important to the argument because it's both me and Gary that got into this argument with Mr. Sack. So he's talking to Mr. Sack here. You don't wish to participate in politics? So don't. Vote for the fucking wind. Bernie will win, no thanks to mental midgets like you. And I agree with that too. And Mr. Sack replies to him, I wish I would stop doing that. I can't edit, so fuck it. You guys can put up with that too. So, Mr. Sack says Bernie has no chance. He already sold out to the corrupt system that cheated him. My comment above has just as many likes as the original comment in this thread. That should tell you where progressives stand where it comes to Bernie. And this RT channel is mostly viewed by people on the left. If half of the lefties have abandoned Bernie, what do you think the rest of the country thinks of him? He has no chance. You better wake up and get behind Tulsi Gabbard or Nina Turner, or someone like them who hasn't sold out yet. Or just keep burying your head in the sand. This is what got me about this one. Was my comment above has just as many likes as the original comment. That should tell you where progressives stand when it comes to Bernie. Oh, dude. 8 likes on one, 8 likes on the other. 5, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then they peter out. Okay? 8 likes. I'll even give you credit and call it 16 likes. Tells us nothing whatsoever about anything. That's not even a big sample. That's not even a big enough sample size to find out if everyone's male or female. I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? 16 people should tell you something about where progressives stand. No, it doesn't. And that's when Bernie is the most popular politician in the country. His policy positions are the most popular in the country. He says some more things. And this is where I respond to Mr. Sekjana and his ridiculous appeal to popularity. Just as many people like my comment as the other comments. That should tell you something. You're appealing to the perceived popularity of your comments. From what you consider 8 people against 8 people is 50-50. That's retarded, dude. Let me know when your comment is more popular with 80% of Democrats and 75% of independents, then someone will believe you. Those numbers have never changed, so you're only popular with 8 people. And he replies to, you can't even type a complete sentence and you call me a mental midget. Yeah, I gotta take points off of Gary for not proofreading, but that happens to the best of us, so we're just gonna keep moving right along. And I love how he keeps repeating this. It's not about the number of likes. You're completely missing the point. I am not bragging about likes. I'm simply pointing out the fact that the original poster was complaining about people critiquing Bernie, and when I pointed out the very valid reasons why those critiques are happening and why people on the left are sick of Bernie's BS, my post got just as many likes as the original post. That should tell you something. No! 8 people, or 16 at most, I'll give you some credit, tells us nothing, you myopic little moron. So now you're able to tell someone you've never met and only chatted with once briefly is falling for right-wing propaganda. You also prove to be able to perceive their emotions through a YouTube comment. This is classic. Where can I sign up for your psychic clairvoyance instruction classes? If you're repeating right-wing propaganda, Mr. Sack, then yeah, we can tell you that you're repeating right-wing propaganda. It kind of just works that way. And here he comes back to me. Now, we are just getting on to the tip of the batshit iceberg here. And he says, you thought I was bragging about the number of likes I got? LOL, bruh. I'm simply pointing out the fact that just as many people support my critique of Bernie as the original comment in the thread, which was complaining about people critiquing Bernie. That should tell you something. LOL. LOL is right. That tells us nothing. 8 people, 16 at most, tells us nothing. That's not 50% of progressives. That's not even 50% of a high school classroom. Give me a fucking break. I don't give 2 shits about the number of likes I get, but that number is obviously an indication of where people are at when it comes to Bernie, especially on a liberal channel like this. Now you're bringing up polls, LOL. How about you let me know when polls are found to be accurate? The poll said that Trump had what % chance of beating Hillary? Exactly. No self-reflection, no sense of irony, none of that. So I had to laugh. I'm not appealing to popularity, but I'm totally appealing to popularity. 7 people agreeing with 2 others tells us nothing but the utter credulity of some people. But you think the opinions of 9 people are more accurate than the national poll of actual voters. Those polls actually disagreed with the ones that had Hillary at 95%. So what the fuck are you even babbling about? Gary got you correct when he called you a mental midget. The opinions of 8 people that agree with you outweigh everything else. You haven't thought any of this through. You're just throwing shit at a wall to see what sticks. You can't support people like Nina and Tulsi while ignoring the person that opened the door. If it's about policy and not personality, then you defeat your own argument. Time to reassess. And I'm thinking about this. He's like, support, Tulsi Gabbard and Nina Turner. Nina Turner, the one that is currently the president of the organization that Bernie founded. So, yeah, moving on. He replies, LOL, too funny. You need to go learn what to appeal to popularity logical fallacy is because you obviously have no clue what it actually means. Appeal to popularity is making an argument that something is right or correct to do because a lot of people agree with doing it. That is not my argument at all. LOL. Yeah, it kind of is. You specifically came on here to argue the fact that anyone that doesn't think like you do is, in your own words, a fool. So, yes, you are appealing to popularity. More people think that what I think, so you should think that too. That's what you're doing, you myopic little idiot. I'm simply pointing out the fact that just as many people supported my critique of Bernie as did people who supported the OP's comment complaining about Bernie, people critiquing Bernie. LOL. I'm not arguing that because a lot of people agree with my position it must be correct, or that you should agree with me because a lot of other people do, which would be appeal to popularity. And that's exactly what you're doing. I am simply saying that you should take note of how many people are agreeing with me relative to the OP, because it's indicative of how a lot of people feel about Bernie right now. Full stop. No, it's indicative of how 8 people, 16 at most, feel about Bernie right now. That's not half of all progressives, not half of all Democrats, not half of all independents, not even half of a high school classroom. Get with the fucking program here, guy. If you don't understand the clear difference between what I said and the appeal to popularity, then the mental midget is you. No, I don't think you have any idea what you're talking about. I know nuanced propositions can be hard to understand, but you should still try. Really? Really? And I don't care what the polls say. I'm telling you right now that people are not going to be anywhere near as supportive of Bernie the next time around. A lot of the people who are criticizing now used to be big supporters of his in 2016. You're going to need more than anecdotal commentary to prove that, because at this point, Bernie Sanders is now even more popular with Republicans than not. He might still have a high popular ratings in the polls, but his original movement is straight up dead, and if you haven't noticed that yet, you simply aren't paying attention. Well, for someone that claims that I spend too much time on YouTube, that'll come later, I think I'm paying a lot better attention than you are, Mr. Sack. And he go ahead and he replies to Gary. You guys can read that on your own. This I don't agree with Gary saying, because he's saying that Bernie Sanders actually won platform concessions to Hillary, which she wasn't going to keep in the first place, and is, pointless because she lost. So, yeah, I kind of agree with what Mr. Sack says here, too, but he's so insufferable. So, here we are. Now, I told him, yes, you and your opinion and that of 8 other people are duly noted. I find your explicable arrogance entertaining and your ignorance hilarious. You're the one highlighting likes as a vast agreement with you, yet that's not your point. Do you even know what your point is? The same number of people liked my and the original comment. You said that like it means anything. Even if it were 1 million likes, it still tells us nothing, nor makes a difference. Bernie doesn't need your help because it's not about him. It's not about you. It's about policy positions to which a great majority of all Americans support. Your tiny circle doesn't like Bernie? That's fine. But don't act like you're policy principled because of it. It was Bernie that showed you they were even possible. What happens when Nina and Tulsi do something that you personally disagree with? Are you going to throw them out too? Try to convince everyone that the policies are fairy dust and unicorns because no politician will ever be good enough for you? You either have to keep this up or admit you don't know where you're going with this. You're a moron and you have my pity. So, here is where we go full batshit. And this is where I started dying laughing, and I have been laughing for 3 days. Hey, asshat, I see you're back with more retarded ad hominem attacks. Okay, 2 can play at that game. You're so fucking stupid you tried to call me out for using the appeal to authority, logical fallacy, when you didn't even know what the fuck it meant. So I had to educate your dumbass. He can't even read back to his own comment or any further in the thread to figure out what the hell he was doing to make sure that he's still on par with what he was doing. Fucking hilarious. You didn't educate anything, guy. Now you're all butthurt because you've been exposed as the clueless pea-brain mouth breather you are. So now you want to start name-calling. Fine, let's do that then. You've waited in line so long to suck the dust off the cock of a 76-year-old brain, washed-up, spineless sellout hypocrite, and his ancient dick is now so far down your throat you can't even see that nobody else is waiting in line behind you anymore. You guys remember, real quick, how this started? 'Cause I do. Grow the fuck up. Bernie isn't perfect. Are you a progressive or a cultist? It's never been about the man. It's about the message. And again. It's not about the man. It's about the message. I mean, how many times do I have to say it? It's great. So then we continue. You and Gary and all your little buddies in a circle jerk of Buff Bernie meme, and now you're defending him like he's your fucking boyfriend. But you're just his little bitch that he sold out to the DNC. You're just too stupid and naive to realize it. You're like a crack whore being exploited by a pimp. And I came to slap some sense into your silly starstruck ass. But now you're mad at me because I'm pointing out how fucking pathetic and faint-hearted your gumption-lacking dear leader is. Not my fault, bitch. Get off my nuts and take the gutless yellow chicken shit worship drivel elsewhere, fuckboy. My advice is get yourself a candidate with some balls and some integrity who doesn't go back on their word and sell out like the establishment and they pretend to oppose. Or not. Just keep doing what you're doing and lose again in 2020 when Bernie sells your dumbass out once more and buys himself another $600,000 house with the money he made pimping your tight little ass out to the Democratic establishment. Not my problem. You know, that's beautiful wordplay, but this is where we officially lost the plot. You little idiot. I started out the conversation by saying I'm not loyal to Bernie, and you just went on an epic fucking rant about how I am a Bernie loyalist. How stupid can you get that you just foist accusations onto people after they've already said that they're not that person? You myopic little idiot. And that's when I said, because it was 2 days later that he wrote that comment. And I'm like, I'm back 2 days ago? Really? Did you forget to take your meds now? Do you feel better? Good. Now crawl back into your hole because you're not even on my level, much less playing the same game. Your rant is proof positive. How many times do I have to say it's not about the man, it's about the message before you mental subnormals stop this messiah bullshit? I wouldn't challenge anyone's intelligence until you learn to read, moron. And then he responds to Gary. Y'all can pause and read that on your own. And I said, you can't even be bothered to read the entire thread to make sure you remember what you're doing. You tried to debunk my appeal to popularity, not authority. Keep up, okay? You're also confusing my comments with Gary's. You have a really hard time with reading comprehension, don't you? Your comments are so stupidly theatrical, it deserves its own video. I'll post it when I'm done. Enjoy. And he just completely falls off the cliff here. 2 days ago, yeah, bitch, I don't spend every waking moment on YouTube like you apparently do. Laugh out loud. Get a fucking life. Oh no, I accidentally said appeal to authority instead of appeal to popularity. Gasp. Who gives a fuck? You know exactly what I meant. Yeah, I know exactly what you meant. I know that you're drinking while you're trying to comment on fucking YouTube and you can't remember what you're doing from one day to the next. I didn't try to debunk your notion of appeal to popularity by logical fallacy. I did debunk it. Thoroughly. No, you didn't. If you didn't understand your mistake and why my post was not an appeal to popularity, then you're even dumber than I originally thought. And no, I'm not confusing you and Gary. I addressed what you said in my reply to you, and I addressed what Gary said in my reply to Gary. You were simply confused, and now you're projecting your confusion onto me. LOL. I love how he puts the LOLs in when I would laugh too. It's fucking great. Like, he knows he's full of shit. I was being civil until you and Gary both childishly initiated your conversation with me using ad hominem attacks. Now you're both butthurt when you get the same return. Next time, don't dish out what you can't take. And by the way, starting shit with people and insulting them right off the bat is a stupid way to try to get people on your side. You're taking a page right out of the correct records book. Bad fucking idea. LOL. Irony is a foreign concept to this guy. He has no ability for self-reflection at all. And holy shit, LOL, I just looked at your YouTube channel, LOL. No wonder you're so mad at me and mad at the world. When I looked up the definition of hideous in the dictionary, there was a picture of you there. I could have spent hours and hours elaborating on the disgustingness you embody, and I'm getting tired, so I'm not going to waste my time. Go ahead and make a video about me, you swine-gobbling, sweat-stained monstrosity. I'm sure your 53 subscribers will enjoy it if you don't die of a heart attack before you finish, LOL. So, now that we are here, not only has he completely lost the plot, but he is done bringing up any type of coherent argument at all. Now he's just going to smear and insult, and it's absolutely hilarious. He's fucking triggered, man. Absolutely triggered. So, another day later, he goes, "Hey, Jabba the Hutt." Now, this is where you can really tell that he gets drunk before he comments on YouTube. "What's up, fool? I told you to get off my nuts, but I see you're back for more." Yeah, yesterday, since you can't keep up with a conversation. Now, take notes, you repulsive, morbidly obese gourmandizer. Time to get serious here. Have you been to see a doctor lately? I'm dead serious. You are literally going to fucking die of a heart attack soon if you don't start exercising regularly and stop stuffing your grotesque face with the carcasses of dead animals. In all seriousness, no. As much of a douchebag as you are, I still don't want to see you eat yourself to death. This is hilarious. You guys have seen pictures of me. I may be fat, but I'm not morbidly obese. And I'm not really sure where he's getting this from by just seeing my face. Fucking great. I mean, the back of your neck must look like a pack of hot dogs. Dude, you can see my neck fully in the late night ride videos. Actually, no, I have a nice long neck. But you would know, had you just not looked at a still of me and actually maybe watched some of my videos, you might have actually learned something, guy. Anyways, I mean, your intestines are probably bursting at the seams and leaking shit into your abdomen. Do you even own a fucking mirror? How do you let yourself get that way? Bitch, you want to talk to me about meds? You must have some serious psychological issues to be okay lying around all day, gluttonously devouring everything in sight, and watching yourself morph into a repugnant beast that even a full-grown hippo would be afraid of. Real talk. Oh, you don't like ad hominems? Well then, bitch, don't come at people with ad hominems. I was perfectly fine with having a civil conversation, then you and your little friend Gary wanted to come at me out of nowhere with personal attacks. No, we pointed out you were an idiot because you were saying stupid things. Now you're just attacking my appearance because you actually completely lost the argument and lost the plot. I do not insult people until they insult me first, so you can go fuck yourself. Nobody else is going to fuck you anyway, that's for damn sure. Oh man, if I could show you pictures of my ex. You should take some advice from Lil Jon. Don't start no shit, there won't be no shit. But you wanted to start shit, so it's shit you shall get. And bitch, don't talk to me about ego when you're the one who started with the fucking insults on my intelligence when I never said shit disrespectful to you. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to read this as he writes it, and he has no sense of sentence structure. Your ego is obviously bigger than your appetite. If it wasn't, you wouldn't come with the name calling at people who are engaging in civilized debate. So I say to you, act like a bitch, get treated like a bitch. This is hilarious. I have to let you know the last IQ test I took, I scored 139, and that's high enough to get into Mensa. So go ahead and diss my intelligence all you want. I know it's nothing but bullshit. Now go kicks rocks, you have abhorrent, overgrown hog. Walk till your ankles bleed. I'm done here. Oh, and one more thing before I go, though. That shit on your neck has got some shit on its neck. LOL, you might want to get that checked out. Okay, I'm done wasting my time in this thread now. You can reply all you want, but I won't be back, and I won't bother to read anything you post. Peace. epic batshit. You're so frothing at the mouth, angry. You're so triggered that you can't find an intelligent argument. You just have to insult and smear. And it's absolutely hilarious that after you talk about me having an ego, you run up with this 139 IQ, I can get into Mensa. Dude, read your posts again. You are no more mentally mature than a middle schooler, and I cannot wait for the entirety of YouTube to be laughing at your dumb ass. This was some of the most fun I have ever had in a comment stream. I hope it's as much fun to watch as it was to do. Everybody have a great day. I'll see you soon.